Shefsky here, and welcome to Fantasy House. MTV Cribs with imagination. That's right, these are fake MTV Cribs. That's right. If HGTV had a show where they had, let's say they had like alien level technology, right? Anything your imagination could come up with, and no worries about budgets, funding, or anything like that. People could just build these crazy houses in their own dimensions. That's what this podcast is about. It's so much fun. I love it. And we're at 35 reviews on iTunes. Thank you, Fantasy House listeners. You guys are the freaking best. 15 more. We'll be at 50. Let's get to 50, guys. That's my call to action to y'alls. Let's get to 50 reviews by July. Keep them coming, folks. Thank you guys so much for those of you that have done ratings and reviews. If you've gotten us so far, and it's the bomba, la bomba. Dun, 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 dun. Guys, this podcast is brought to you by me, Jon Shefsky, your Southern California realtor. That's right. Hit me up if you have any real estate questions. If you want to buy your house, or you want to sell your house, you want to figure out what buying a house is like. If you're just curious and you just have a lot of questions, or you want to know if you can even get a loan, I got a great loan officer. Hit me up at fantasyhousepodcast@gmail.com. I would be happy to be of service to you. I love being of service. It makes me super happy. It makes me feel valuable to my culture and my society. And yeah, so anything I could do, let me know. fantasyhousepodcast@gmail.com. This episode's going to be good. I'm excited for you guys. My guest today is the awesome Ron Babcock. He's a stand-up comic. He's an editor. He edits the Muppet Babies cartoon. He's got a great album called This Guy. He's super funny. I recommend seeing him live, and I recommend listening to him right now. I love this guy. One time I was on stage doing stand-up, and he walked in, and I was like, "Ladies and gentlemen, Tom Babcock." And I pointed to him at the back of the room, and he was like, he just raised his hands like, "Tom Babcock?" And that kind of solidified our friendship. Once you have an inside joke with someone, it's just lovemaking from there on out. So in the words of the great Angelo Bowers, let us do this.
Won't you take it all right over to the fantasy house? You're the most where the most where you get it in your fantasy house. Get all the money for expensive construction. The only way is your imagination. You're the fantasy house right now.
I think that that's why a lot of you see a lot of people who are, quote unquote rich, and people are like, how could she be unhappy? And it's like, because there's
no satisfaction.
They don't have any challenge.
Yeah.
Or they need, you need daily challenges in your life that you can overcome so you can feel good about yourself.
Oh, for sure.
That's why if anybody's ever being bummed out, I always recommend, and this is just the thing that works for me. I make something. I once made a tote bag in a sewing class. I swear to God, that goddamn tote bag gave me a feeling that I hadn't had from a show on stage in months. Like the sense of completion.
Oh yeah.
Like you need that in your life. You need to feel like you finished something because it feels really good. And in comedy, a joke works one night, but it doesn't work another night. But that tote bag is always going to be a tote bag.
That's what I try to tell all my fellow stand-up comics: quit comedy and start making bags.
Yes,
you never bomb on stage with a tote bag, bro. No, there is human primal satisfaction with those simple things. Okay, so let me ask you some of my fun questions that I want to ask you.
Please.
These are fun questions that I didn't prep you for. I was like, okay. I'm not even telling Ron this.
Oh, I love these. These are my favorite kind.
So if you could, you seem like you have some really good value to bring to people. If you could change one thing, if you could tell people one thing that they could do. Because so much, if you listen, I love listening to self-development books, right?
Oh my God,
I got to
that shit up like a spoon,
right? It's delicious at times, right?
It's a spoon and Greek yogurt, man.
Even if it's the same stuff in different voices and different people's ways of saying it.
It's all the same shit, right? It's all the same shit, just a different angle looking at it, and I find it fascinating.
But some of it's really I know my mom back in the 90s was like, Tony Robbins. My mom, so funny. I don't think she followed a single thing he said, but she loved Tony Robbins. And I felt like it's almost overwhelming because these people don't know you personally. You buy their information, you listen to their book or whatever. They don't know you personally, so they're prescribing you something. But it's like, hey, a lot of people aren't even my mom wasn't ready for a lot of high level change. Mm-hmm. She needed a simple thing that she could focus on for a year, just one thing, not to get overwhelmed.
Yeah.
Every day, check it off. What would you give? What would you prescribe to the average Joe?
I mean, I'm a big believer in the whole. I read this one book called The Slight Edge, so I like to say that I've been slight edging myself a lot.
You and your innuendos, just the tip and slight edging.
Because it's like,
Dude.
it's like making tiny little incremental changes.
Yeah.
But if something I were to give to everybody,
Yeah, and that's a big one not to prep you for, but that's kind of what the fun is for me.
yeah, I mean, it's kind of I'm going to tell you, this is an overwhelming podcast. Like when you told me the premise of this, I actually, for the first time ever for a podcast, I actually got a little nervous.
Oh,
because the onus is all on the guest, and I'm like, well, what kind of house would I want to live in? Like, it forced me to answer all these questions, and I've been thinking. I'm not even nailed down. I'm on the way in. I've been going through like variables. I'm like, well, which one do I like more? And I'm telling you, this fantasy house has caused me a lot of stress. So the idea of like, what's the one thing I would say to humanity to improve their life?
Yeah. Don't put people on the spot with their fantasy objects. I'm just joking. For me.
I'm going to go with something very practical.
Okay.
And it's something that I started doing. I do it every single day, and it makes me feel like I'm in control.
Okay.
Flossing.
Nice.
Listen, there have been, and I'm not proud of this, but I'm going to be straight up vulnerable and honest with you. There have been like decades of my life where I did not floss. Like, yeah.
Same here.
I just was like, why would you do that? And then I, hit my 30s, which is just like the land of root canals.
Yeah.
And apparently, hey, guys, just another heads up, dental insurance is like, you should do that.
Yeah.
Although the rates haven't changed for 40 years. So the max payout you get on any dental insurance is only $1,250 a year. And root canals are a lot more. So last year I put about $6,000 into my mouth.
Yeah.
Which are old fillings that I didn't, that needed to be replaced.
It's the most boring
root
way
canals.
to spend all your savings.
Dude, I just wiped me out,
Yeah.
And so then I had this I had a gap in my tooth, and I had to floss it every single day because there would be stuff that got caught in there.
Yeah.
So I flossed it every morning and every night because I knew if I didn't, that would turn into something, and I'd have to spend another like $6,000 or whatever to get it
Your
fixed.
retirement savings on your teeth gaps.
So I finally got my teeth fixed, and then I realized though that now I have this now it feels weird to not floss.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Like I floss at least once a day, mostly twice a day. But it literally feels weird because it's so ingrained into me. And so what it taught me is that you can turn anything into a habit. You just got to keep doing it. And then you need to put in the motivation for the habit. My motivation is not having to spend $6,000 on my mouth ever again. So I start
Not even with a gold grill?
not even
You're going to spoil yourself?
I just want to have a decent smile, not full of
do.
like cavities.
You even said, I don't know, you subconsciously when you told me about it, you smiled really nice. Like, the twinkle on the teeth?
But I'm telling you, man, when I floss, I feel like, I mean, this is just me, but I feel like I'm like, no, I'm the decider of my fate.
That's right.
Like I'm in control. That starts with flossing.
That's the best. I feel the same way. I floss every morning. I bought the toothbrush thing that has the floss thing connected to it. It's got like a little, what do they call it? Little wishbone kind of.
Oh, yeah,
thing.
yeah.
And that just makes it so nice because then you're never wrapping around, strangling your fingers and trying to get your hands in your mouth.
I got this dental lace thing. It's because I'm such a little hippie, and it's in a little glass vial. It's called dental lace. It's just like floss.
You swallow it like a monk and then you poop it out and you're like, I'm flossing my body, dude. They have that,
They have
like riffing.
it's refillable, so
Okay.
you just order like you get little spools in the mail, and they you put it in the glass.
Are you
jar.
like in a club like Dollar Shave Club, but it's for your teeth?
But it's for floss.
You
Yeah.
are?
Yeah, it's like every couple months they send.
Dude,
me
that's
some.
hilarious.
It's like $6. I don't know. It's only a couple bucks.
That's great, dude.
But I love it. But I swear, the woman who runs the company's name I think is Jody, and I once messaged her about something, and you ever get like a response so quick it unnerves you?
Oh, yeah.
Like you press send, and then all of a sudden it's like ding. It's like, hey, thank you for your message, and you're like, whoa! And it was a personal response.
It wasn't a robot. It was a person.
I was like, nah, this is just a woman who's really aggressive about her small business. Like, I'm gonna,
you're my only client.
Yeah.
She has one client. Ron, how are your teeth?
great.
What's the name of the company? You can plug them, right?
I think it's dentallace.com. I really like it. It's one of those things where it's cheap enough where I think this year is going to be my little Christmas gift for people.
Yeah.
Because,
a little negligible, like you're not going to notice the payment on it.
Yeah, it's like, it doesn't break the bank, but it's something nice where people are like, oh, because I'm a big hippie at heart, so I'm always like, is there a way I could do this without plastic? Like, I'm totally that
for
guy.
sure.
Yeah.
Right? You only have to tell me one time that a turtle got a straw stuck in his nose, and I'm like, all right. I mean, I was never even crazy about straws anyways, but I'm down.
I never used straws because I just didn't like drinking from them. Unless it was a milkshake. I'm not like... I don't know.
Right?
You know when you have to like reach after the straw with your mouth?
It seems like a weird. It's like a weird Freudian need. Like I just gotta suck on something right now. Like can't you just drink your drink like a real primate?
Yeah,
no, I would
always
always suck it up.
I would drink it out of the glass.
Yeah.
Like a man, because I would put like a gender thing on it.
I pour it into a dog bowl and I drink it just to show everyone. I was like, I'm so tough. I drink out of a freaking dog bowl.
Yeah, I have him pull a garden hose up to my mouth and I drink out of that.
I'm wearing a Camelback right now. That's how I still have to suck it through the Camelback straw, but it's not disposable. I only drink out
It's
of
in the shape of a camel's dick, so it's actually kind of weird.
I'm so manly. I only drink out of pools in fatter men's belly buttons.
Yeah.
It's very costly. And
I only do it with my shirt off.
That's right. I get fully naked, like those people that get naked to go to the bathroom. If I need a drink, I'm like, "Hey, Bubba, get in here."
Gotta hydrate.
I pay this guy a lot to just lay down and let me pour the water into his stomach. It's really weird. If you could, so flossing is where you'd have it.
I think so. I think people's lives would be better because it would, when your teeth, like you don't really think about your teeth until there's something wrong with it, and it's probably one of the most annoying things that can go wrong with your body because you have to eat.
And they hurt. They really hurt. Like when they're messed up.
Oh, it can be excruciating. That nerve pain can be just terrible. So if you take the time to take care of your teeth, like not only are you saving yourself money, but like your future you is going to be so thankful because you're going to still have your teeth. You won't have to deal with dentures. And it'll be like, and then once you get in the habit of it, man, you start to love it.
Yeah, I love it. My wife didn't floss forever and never had any dental problems. And then she eventually in her 30s had one and was like, oh, and I look over, I'm like, oh, you're flossing now, huh? Oh, all right. Because I've had to floss forever.
Look at you giving a shit.
Yeah.
Okay.
Welcome to flossing world with the rest of us with our hygiene. Okay, one more question for you.
Okay.
What was your favorite thing about being a kid?
Going to camp.
Going to camp?
Yeah.
How come?
Every week I would go to camp in Hickory Run State Park in Pennsylvania. It was like this week-long 4-H camp. And it was just the happiest times of my childhood. It's crazy because looking back, I would get there on a Monday afternoon and my parents would pick me up on a Friday afternoon.
Yeah.
I was there for like barely over 3 full days and I loved it. We got to stay in these cabins that I found out were built by FDR during the New Deal. So these are just like wooden cabins. There's not much going on. There's some screens. And then there was these old cots and there were these old mattresses on them. And you'd put your sleeping bag on that. And then sometimes we'd take the mattresses and we'd sled them down the hill.
Yeah.
Next to Unit 4. We would just go down the hill and you have to try and dodge trees. And like we would like capture the flag in the dark and there'd be like bonfires and, you'd have fun shops. They weren't workshops. Fun shops. Kind of like your fun questions. And then I remember we did like volleyball and air rifle. We go creek stomping and like, I remember just like having so much fun, and you had different tribes that you were in. You could either be in Iroquois, that was the cool tribe. You could be in Mohawk, that was like kind of like the tribe for like the young kids. There was Shawnee, who always tried to be cool as Iroquois, but never was. And then there was Ottawa, and that was always like the weird kids. And the one year I was like counselor at like the Ottawa, and I was really proud that I got some Ottawa pride, John, going on in there.
Yeah.
But it was like you had these weird, we have to stand straight for lines and sing songs, and like the first day you're like, this is stupid, and then by like the end of the week you're like in a perfect straight line, shouting out all these songs, and it was just super fun. It's super fun to like just let kids run around and be kids in the middle of the forest.
Isn't it great? There's something so beautiful about that.
I would be so sad when I had to leave. And like I look back on it, I was like, it was like my favorite part of the week, favorite part of the year.
I love that. I only went to camp one time, like in 5th or 6th grade, they like the classes go where in SoCal, they go for a week or whatever. So that's all, but yeah, I remember loving it.
And this camp was like, I worked at a summer camp, a co-ed summer sleepaway after in college.
Yeah.
And that was like a camp where you had to pay like $6,000. Like, the kids would
the
have
parents
like,
are spending a bunch of dough.
The lakes had surf bikes.
Oh, wow.
Which is like kind of like a surfboard with a bike on top.
Yeah.
I remember being like, yeah, I didn't have any of this shit.
Yeah, this is
like,
fancy camping.
Like ours was like, we would have like the egg toss. Like it was like, looking back, I'm like, oh, this was the poor people camp. But it was super fun.
That's what I went to do. It was a regular people camp.
Yeah, and it was great though.
I didn't go to Illuminati camp.
Yeah.
Right? There was no hovering.
Yeah, that's right. Camp Lakota. You're on blast.
That's right. Is that what it was? The fancy camp?
Fancy camp,
Camp Lakota?
Wurtsboro, New York.
Don't make fun. Those people have probably run all the companies now. They're
all
shut off the power if you're too mean to them.
They have all the camps like for a lot of rich kids went. I had like Jimi Hendrix's cousin was one of the kids.
Was Jimi Hendrix's cousin rich? Did they all get some of his?
Don't know, but when you asked him how he was doing, he would reply, "I feel very blessed." And then I had like some vice president of IBM's son.
Oh, yeah.
like the manager to like the Red Hot Chili Peppers. His son Alex was one of my kids. Like we had all these like weirdly like. There's this one kid. Oh God, Dustin. He was a character. He always used to talk about his silk underwears and how good they made him feel. And
So keep that to yourself there, Dustin.
his dad was like, he was crazy. This kid was a lot. It was a lot of fun, but he was just a lot of energy. And his dad, I guess, owned a bunch of strip clubs in New York. And so on Parents' Day, he would come around with like a wad of cash.
I thought you were going to say a bunch of strippers.
No.
All the kids are like, yeah, Mr. Fratelli's here.
But he just always, he's like, you know my kid Dustin? And you're like, yeah. And he just would peel off like a 20 for you.
So great.
And he just would peel off money. Because they would like tip you, and that's how you made some of your money.
Great. Tipping jobs are the best when you get treated well. Oh, it's so good. All right, well.
Are we doing it?
Let's do it. What's the geographic location of this boy's fantasy house?
I thought about this for a while, but I'm going to go with like kind of Big Bear style. I'm going to go with lake, but on top of a mountain.
A lake on top of a mountain.
Yeah, I like the idea of being kind of in a mountainous area. I was going to toy with the idea of beach, and I was like, desert? No, I'm desert. Keep moving. Like, I've lived in the desert. Yeah, it's pretty to visit for a week. It's like winter. It's nice for like a weekend. And then I'm out of there.
You're done.
So I'm going to go with lake on top of a mountain. I love the forest. I find it very calming.
The lush trees. And oh, yeah. Okay. All right. What's it look like? Describe it to me.
For a while I was like kind of thinking like, again, this is overwhelming.
Yeah.
This challenge.
I love this because I can't tell you. It's the same thing as a real estate agent. I can't tell someone like what kind of house they want. I just got to be like, what's up? Like, what do you want? And if they go like, I like this and this, I can put it together from there. But I have to I got to hear from you. Like,
I originally I was like, oh, maybe I should do like a tree house, like a Swiss Family Robinson tree house. But then I was like, God, the fucking elevator is going to be so annoying. Like, it's like when you go into an Airbnb loft and you're like, oh my God, a ladder to get to the bed.
It's cute.
And
but then 3 weeks later, you're like, this is bullshit.
You kidding? Like the first time you have to go to the bathroom in the middle of the night, you're like, this sucks. Like it's not worth the space.
Why do they do this?
Yeah. Like,
do you ever think, what if they never? I used to think, I was like, what if they never invented stairs? What if it was just ladders everywhere? Like even I used to think about that, like things to be grateful for. It's like I'm glad they invented stairs.
The loft. Like there's also a guy who had some kind of a pee funnel situation. Where he runs it down, like the beer bongs you used to do in college.
Yeah,
like
it's for peeing,
but it's one of those that goes straight to the toilet. Like he lives by himself, and he's just like, I don't fucking nobody cares. Like he does that because I would do that just to save me.
Just out the window, right? You're in the forest, right?
Yeah,
just have a pee drain.
Or maybe like you cut a hole in the bottom of your mattress, and like if you're high up.
Oh yeah,
kind of like the door in Game of Thrones, that you throw people through in the Airy.
I don't even know that because I haven't seen Game of Thrones, but I'm thinking of the Schlang chair from the Tim and Eric's $1 Billion movie.
Yeah, I haven't seen that, so I don't know that. But
you haven't seen the Tim and Eric's $1 Billion movie?
No,
highly recommended.
So I would do a kind of like a cross between a mid-century modern building and a woodsman's cottage.
Cool.
So I like the idea of a woodsman's cottage. My favorite show is a show airs on the BBC called Grand Designs, which follows people.
Love Grand Designs.
Dude, it's so good, right?
Of course.
It's just like first of all, I love this shit, man. All of this shit. Like my favorite magazine growing up was Martha Stewart Living. Like I love this shit so hard.
Oh, I'm so excited.
So I like this is all like what you asked me is stuff I've already been thinking about for a long time.
Oh yeah.
But this asked me to like really solidify it. So I would do like a mid-century modern type feel house, but with the coziness of a woodsman's cottage, which the woodsman's cottage episode on Grand Designs is by far one of my favorite episodes of TV ever.
I don't know if I've seen the woodsman's cottage yet because there's so many episodes now.
Dude built a house by himself in like a hexagonal shape, used straw bales as insulators. It took him like a year and a half. It cost him like under 20,000 pounds. And it's like, he's a master craftsman.
So rad.
And it has that, I looked up the word. I know I'm going to mispronounce it, but it's that Danish Norwegian word. It means, a mood of coziness and comfort with feelings of wellness and contentment. It's called hygge. It's Hygge.
Okay. Yeah.
Hygge. And
listeners, look it up. Hygge.
I want my house to have that kind of feeling of coziness, but without all like the tchotchke and the knick-knack.
Yeah.
So kind of like I like the clean, sharp lines of minimalism.
Yep.
But I feel like it can be a little cold sometimes.
Totally agree.
So I like to have that Higgate kind of feel where it still feels cozy. Where if you have guests, it's like they want to sit in a chair and they never want to.
They
get
don't
up.
feel like they got to leave because they're in a Holocaust museum. They feel like, hey,
Jesus, man, yeah,
Right?
you
Right?
just nailed it on the head,
Right?
Yeah.
I agree too. I love like that simple. Okay, cool. That's beautiful. So what's the entrance going to be like? Where am I walking in? What are you going to show me?
The outside of the building would be like
The demands are getting big. What are you going to do? How are you going to impress me there, guy?
well, the thing is, I want a house. I don't want it to be a ridiculous house. Like, I don't want it to be like this weird fun house where everything is done for you.
Yeah.
Like, I want it to be kind of a house that could actually exist. Almost. So the outside would be kind of like dark wood, kind of like that Japanese blackened wood.
Yeah.
So it kind of melds into the forest. So it looks like it belongs there. But the one pop of color would be the door. So I love houses where the door is always a nice pop of color.
Oh, yeah.
So it'd be like
Same here.
kind of like a burnt umber, or like like the color of that orange construction extension cord in
yeah.
the corner.
Yeah.
Like those like that kind of like something like that, like a dull kind of orange.
Yeah.
And then that would open up, and you would see a house that full of natural elements. So a lot of glass to let a lot of light in.
Yes.
But also a lot of wood. So, and light colored wood, kind of like that Swedish Norwegian style. All
Yeah.
like the same color as plywood.
Yeah.
There's not much.
Oh yeah. Like a
Keep
beach
it
house
simple.
in like, where is it? Is it Norway where they have the really cool fishing? Where's it?
Exactly.
Like, and they have all the beach houses have like really cool like light color wood that lets a lot of natural light.
That like blonde wood that
Yeah.
makes you like, kind of that sense when you walk into an IKEA and they're like, oh, this is calming. But then when you get it home, you're like, this isn't the same as how they did it.
This is just a sticker on top of plywood.
Yeah, this is just $120.
But if you actually get like real like clean wood like that, yeah, it's beautiful.
So you'd walk in and you'd have that. You see that wood everywhere. It would be open, but not so expansive that it feels like you'd get tired walking across the house. Like
Yeah.
I still want a very livable house for a family.
Yeah. Okay. So it's you. So who's living there?
Me, my girlfriend, soon to be yada yada.
I love pronounce you, man, and yada yada. Shalom.
Our dog, and probably a couple of kids running around at some point, or at least space for a family to
Yeah.
grow.
Okay. So this is a family residence here.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's go in. Where should we go in first? Living room, kitchen, bathroom.
Can we go in the kitchen?
Yeah, we can. This is your
Okay.
house, dog. I'm following you in.
I'm really excited about the kitchen.
Me too.
I think that's going to be where we spend most of the time. I love to cook, except I have a couple of devices that are going to make cooking easier.
Okay.
Okay. First things first is we're going to have a strainer wall.
A strainer wall.
Yeah, you know how like you cook pasta and you put it in a little strainer bowl?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, imagine like your pasta's finished cooking.
Yep.
You take the pot off the stove. Okay, now imagine you have a wall and it's all just a strainer.
Yep.
Right? And you just say, fuck this pasta. And you throw the pasta against the wall. So the water goes through the holes and goes behind it. And then the pasta just falls to like a little basket at the bottom.
That's like a full like a wall of basket.
Yeah, like
basically.
you're just like a trough.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
and then you could just like kind of pick up the one side of it, and then it just slides down.
Totally.
And then the trough has a little hole, so it drains, and then it slides down into your serving bowl. But how
Fuck this pasta.
satisfying would it be if you can throw like whatever you boiled some steamed some Brussels sprouts, and you're like, fuck these Brussels sprouts, and it goes into the wall.
Yeah.
And then the water behind it, of course, would go down, and it would go through like charcoal filters, and then
Yeah.
it would be gray water that would be recycled in the herb garden, which I'm going to get to in a minute.
Yes, sir.
So,
I love it.
So you would also have like a sunroom, kind of like this open greenhouse area that would just be full of every kind of herb you could ever need for cooking. And even if you didn't use that herb, it would just look beautiful and it would smell beautiful.
Oh, yeah.
So you have you'd have your oregano, right? Your basil,
Fresh basil, fresh oregano.
But then you'd also have your tarragon, which you use like maybe twice a year in a mushroom soup.
I was gonna say, what do you use tarragon in?
I use it in mushroom soups. It kind of has like a fennel kind of
Okay.
taste,
Oh,
almost
okay.
like a black licorice
Okay.
kind
You
of.
got to be careful with that one. Then.
Yeah, it's like one of those things where it can be, even for someone like, I mean, I kind of like it sometimes, but I would have all the herbs there and they'd be beautiful, and there'd be like a little sitting area there where you could have like your morning coffee, and you could just
smell.
sit among the herbs, and that's the way you would start your day. Just looking out at the beautiful lake in the distance, and you just would see out there, and it would be this nice bright. It would be like I keep imagining a white kitchen, like kind of like a lot of white backsplash tiles, but I would love to have mosaics throughout the house. So anytime there was tile in the kitchen or the bathroom, there'd also be like very detailed mosaics, and that would be the art.
That's so cool, because sometimes when you see like a white kitchen that's just white with subway tiles behind it, you're like, can we just throw a little bit of color in here? Because I feel like I'm in like a operating room in the 1920s. Like, just give me a little bit of color.
I'm not sure like if that's going to work. Part of me keeps on thinking of like, oh, well, if it's going to be like kind of a, like maybe the kitchen should be more of the woodsman's cottage feel of just like kind of natural wood throughout.
Yeah.
But I thought, so I'm not.
No,
like,
I like it.
Or it might be like maybe like kind of more wooden kind of cabinets, and then like with the white tile. I do like bright white tiles,
dude. But so with that mosaic though, I feel like that's what gives that extra, like, where it's not just like you're not just in there going, yeah.
Maybe I want to do like a little bit, see how it feels, and then I might swap it out for like a dark navy tile.
Oh, you want to do a fantasy house renovations episode?
Yeah. I mean, well, listen, like
flip this fantasy house.
Listen, my fantasy when I was 12 is a lot different than my fantasy now. You know what I mean? Like fantasies change, so they're not. So I'm definitely going to have an option to maybe switch it up, see how it feels, try it on for size, see if it's livable. Okay. You know what I mean?
I like that.
But I also don't want to get too concerned on the details. I think sometimes it's like, you should just like kind of just not get so focused on if the tile is the right color. And just like kind of just enjoy your life.
Just embrace it. Yeah. Just be like, oh, that's the color it is. It's like when you get a burger at a restaurant, you're like, I wanted that burger. It's like, well, maybe try this burger.
Yeah, like maybe just shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
Maybe maybe your life is better than anyone's, like a lot of people. So just shut the fuck up.
I would love to have you going out to eat with me and my mom at Cheesecake Factory.
Yeah.
You're not sending that back, Mom, until you talk to Ron.
Can she get a bowl of shut the fuck up, please? Oh, okay, yeah, all right.
Oh, dude.
I listen. I understand people complaining, but sometimes it's like, let's just
see if
I'll be a little more grateful for what we have.
Yeah, let's just embrace what actually is.
Yeah, I'm not saying that we don't have our problems, but I'm saying we also have some things that are kind of cool. Let's give those equal fanfare,
and then we'll talk in 2 weeks and see if you still hate that tile color, because I bet you it's going to grow on you, right? Unless you get like neon pink.
But I would also have a chef come every single Saturday, and the chef would teach me to cook something that I don't know how to cook. So like one Saturday we'd be like do beignets,
Oh yeah,
kind of like these like fried little donut thingies. And like the next Saturday it's like I've never done ribs before, so we just go to like the little outdoor grill, that's just outside, and we'd make ribs. And
does your chef throw those at this training wall? He goes, fucking ribs.
That guy can do whatever he wants. He earned it. Okay, he put his time in. He's a Michelin star chef, and he's coming to my house every Saturday.
Yeah.
So, but then, so my homework would be the next Saturday. I have to cook what he just taught me to cook.
Okay,
or her.
Okay,
why am I just making it a him?
I thought maybe you had a chef in mind. I thought you were an Emerald guy, or
you know what? Like, maybe
Gordon Ramsay.
I do like. There's a lot of LA chefs. Yeah, Susan Feniger. Yeah, she's an LA chef. I'd have her come teach me how to do stuff. Hope she's cool. She seems cool. So. But then next week I would show her like, hey, this is what I made last week, and she would try it and give me notes, and then she would show me something new.
Oh, that'd be great.
So that would be kind of like every week I'd be up in my chef game.
You like going to school. You like learning. That's what and I'd have before.
I'd have ever sharp knives. Knives that never need to be sharpened. They'd always be ever sharp.
Is that a real thing, or did you just make that up?
No, that's new technology.
Ever sharp. Yeah, that's a great technology.
I'd have ever sharp knives, and also I'd have club soda on tap.
Club soda on tap.
Yeah.
Is that your favorite drink?
It's one of them. It's like I'm a big Soda Stream guy.
Yeah.
I'm a big Soda Stream guy.
You like the bubblies in the mouth?
You should take your LaCroix, throw them in the damn garbage.
Oh, those are disgusting.
Because they're fine, but they're just such a like. Them. It's like you're paying so much money. Like, just get a Soda Stream, man. It's so easy, and it's like cuts down on waste, and it's like it's so damn cheap. And I've had mine for years, and I use it like every night, and it lasts forever. And then when I need refill, I go to Bed Bath & Beyond. I use a little $5 off coupon.
There you go.
Costs me like $12.
So you're giving 2 tips to our listeners
for
this episode.
Soda.
Start flossing and use a Soda Stream.
It really is. And honestly, that's what like my podcast is basically just going to be me is just shouting about that kind of stuff.
Oh, no, it's great.
But I swear, I feel very passionate about it because I'm like, I'm into helping people save money and also not using as much generating as much crap.
Yeah, I hear you. I'm sorry I had to give you a plastic water bottle with water in it. That's all I had.
That's okay. I really needed water.
I generated more crap. Shit. I used to have anxiety like when I would be working on set, when I'd be like, how much paper towel are we using on this one film set? Times how many film sets are going on today? How are we not already under a pile of junk like in Idiocracy? Like just
Yeah, I don't know. And it's one of those things where it's like, but I also feel like the shaming thing is like, well,
oh, shaming's
really?
awful. No, we shouldn't shame. We're all in this together.
It's like I love shaming, but I also like know that it's not that effective. Like it just makes you feel good, but it's
dude. And life is this weird experience where it's like we all jumped in the middle of the game. We just got the coach just put us in. It's like you can't just blame me for all the score that's happening. It's like, well, this is the utensils we use. This is the ball.
That's a really good way of putting it. Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like it's very easy to just look at people like, look what you've done. It's like a natural, angry reaction, but it's like we're all part of this. We got to work together.
I just know I can't wait till we're all old, and then that the young generation then blames us for everything, like the way we blame.
I'll be too busy in my VR chamber. I'm flying like an eagle right now and having sex with a shark, so you guys can continue fucking off. Blame me for whatever you want, kids. Okay, so what other room should we be heading to now? We got living room. We got to go to a bathroom, right?
I gotta go. You mind if we use the bathroom real quick?
All those Brussels sprouts and ribs you just gave me. I got to go to the bathroom.
So bathroom is kind of going to be mirror the kitchen visually, and the same mosaics. I'm thinking the mosaics should all be ships.
Okay,
like old sailing ships.
Yeah, I love that theme.
I love that shit.
My wife won't. I want that in an actual house. My wife's like, no, and I'm like, I love it.
I'm trying to get my girlfriend to allow to let me get like model sailing ships.
Oh yeah.
And her grandpa has like a ton of them, and she's like, "Why do you want them?" I'm like, "I don't know. It just makes me think of adventure."
Why do they not like that and we do?
I don't know. I look at it and I'm like, it just makes me think of like adventure and exploring, and I look at
metaphors for existence. Yeah. It's perfect.
I just think it's a nice. I don't know.
I love it too. My wife, I tour like these. They're called new builds, and I'll go preview like a new company that's putting up a model home, and I love going to them 'cause it's like being on a movie set because they stage these houses perfectly, exquisitely. Like you just walk in, you're like, whoa! Like they just feel so cool. And some of my favorite rooms have been these rooms that are themed with really cool nautical knots and like ropes and like cool boat models. And I tell my wife, and she's like, yeah, and I'm like, let me just have a boat room. And she's like, you're not into sailing. I was like, but metaphorically, I'm riding the wave of existence, babe. Like, come on, let me be a sailor in this cosmic existence.
There's a great bar in downtown Los Angeles. It's escaping. The name of it's escaping me, but the ceiling is painted with like a nautical flag motif.
Okay, yeah,
and it's pretty tight.
That's
I remember being like, I don't know why that shit calms me, but it does.
There's something wonderful.
Maybe something like the primitive way of communication of nautical flags and the way each one kind of means something. And you're like kind of like this visual Morse code.
Yep. And
which I guess Morse code can be visual too.
That's true.
Shut up, Ron. Sorry.
You make me say, Ron shut himself up. Just let the listeners know I did not tell my guest to shut up. I stared him in the eyes long enough to where he told himself to shut up.
So we're in the bathroom, kind of a normal bathroom, but here's the thing. There's no shower.
Okay, stinky Ron, what's up?
Okay.
What are you going to do? How are you going to clean me, boy?
All right. So basically there's a water slide. And instead of going into a shower every day, you go down a water slide to get clean.
And then where does it drop you off?
Exactly where you began. It is kind of this weird time. I know you said no portals.
Yeah.
But there is a kind of a portal-esque situation where no matter which way you go in, you're always going downhill. And you always get out
weird
the same way you come in.
Oh, that's so cool.
So that way you can go in and you come out, and it's like a minute-long ride, you know? And it's like long enough to be fun, but short enough where it's like it'll always come, it's like it's not going to take too long.
Yeah.
And you go in, you get slathered up, and it's all like hair, moisturizer, shampoo, it's all in one. You're all done.
All in one. And
there's a little rough patch you go through that exfoliates your whole body. So that, and then you get
part of the slide.
Yeah, it's part of the slide. So it's like a little rough part where it's like, ooh, it's not like rough, but like kind of bumpy,
Yeah.
And then you're like, oh my God. And then you kind of like, and then you get a nice rinse and you come out, and then you can, you can dry off. Oh, and the bathroom has, and this is the part I'm most excited about, is there's like hooks everywhere. Okay. So like a lot of times I go into people's bathrooms and like, like we're comedians, we're traveling, we're crashing on people's couches. And sometimes even in hotels, they don't give you a hook.
Where are you supposed to put your towel?
I have a little toiletry bag and I have a little towel. Like they have maybe a hook for their stuff, but I'm like, what about a hook for my stuff? And they don't have anything. Yep. And I have to do this weird precarious thing on the vanity. And then, at some point, like, something falls into the toilet, and then I got a decision to make,
Yeah. Do I flush my comb?
Do I want that expensive face wash, you know, and it's like, well, I got to get it out because I can't ruin their plumbing. And then it's like, there's all these times where every time you use it, you're like, you're rubbing yourself with toilet water.
This is my piss water face wash. It actually really helps exfoliate.
But so I want to have like just a couple of hooks for people to use, so it's like actually like nice and functional.
Yeah.
And there'll also be like a soaking tub for the days where you don't want to slide. Yeah. You know, you're gonna have slide days and you have soak days
because it seems like it would be kind of intense at times. Where you're like, did you go through your cleaning tube? Like, I don't want to go on the cleaning tube right now. I'm kind of exhausted, and it's a lot.
Here's the cool thing about the soaking tub, right? So it's going to be on the edge, and it'll be almost like an infinity pool where you walk into it.
Yep.
And it'll be heated.
Love it.
But there'll be a wall there. But if you want, the wall can open up to the outside.
Yes.
Because one of my favorite things to do is take outdoor showers.
Same here. Or baths too, like outdoor bathing in hot water when it's cold too.
Yeah, and so you can go in there for like a nice soak.
Yep.
You know, and if you don't want to soak, that's okay. Got a sauna right there too. So if you don't want to, you want that dry heat, you want that wet heat. But I love the idea of it opening to the elements. You get to be outside. It's nice and cold.
Yep.
You know, there'll be like a little ledge so you could put like a little, you know, if you want to have a little drink, a little cocktail.
I do, Ron. I do want a little cocktail right now.
I like a nice soaking tub. No, it's not like a jacuzzi. It's just kind of like a tranquil like thing of water. Maybe we could have a jet in if we want to have some
you could
fun.
choose it if you want to.
But I also like different seating areas. A lot of times when you go into a jacuzzi, what I hate is like you're kind of like either all in, like, or you kind of just have to sit on the edge.
Yeah.
So there'd be different elements where you're seating, so you can kind of like where you just want to get your calves a little wet.
Yeah.
You could go into like, you know, your stomach, or you can do the whole like right up to your chin, like I'm in it, I'm soaking.
Mm-hmm. I love that. I sleep so well after that kind of stuff.
Oh yeah, it's all about like kind of prepping yourself for sleep. So that'd be the nice, like it's a weird way to think of the bathroom as like a communal area, but I think we can structure it so that you would have I'm a big fan of poop closets personally.
What's a poop closet?
Do you know when you go into a bathroom and people have their like commode like behind a door?
Yeah.
I just call them poop closets.
Okay.
I'm a real big fan of them, like, because I don't understand why the toilet has to be like a part of everything that else is going on with your routine. Like I like giving people like absolute privacy. It's like it's actually how the toilets are over in Japan. Like when you go to their public restrooms, the doors, like they're
top to bottom. They should be.
And there's not that half-inch gap in the middle.
So everybody looks at your shoes when they know who you are when you're walking around later.
Why can't we engineer the last half inch?
I think
we're supposed to be the greatest country in the world. The only time we can get full privacy in this country in a public bathroom is if we're using one on an airplane.
I know. Or the Hard Rock Cafe. Hard Rock Cafes usually have full closure doors.
Hell yeah. So you could do Coke.
And Bloomingdale. I think Bloomingdale's does too.
So you could do Coke.
Oh, dude. Oh, it's
but
so funny.
I like the
Neiman Marcus. So you can murder a hooker? Okay, sorry.
And do a little Coke. But I like the idea of a bathroom having that kind of a, you know, you could go in there and you could have this like area where you can kind of, I mean, maybe I'll make it separate. We'll see. You know, I mean, I'm in the design phase right now.
That's right.
John, so I'm kind of like still toying around with a lot of ideas.
All right. If you just had to pick something real quick, if your actual like tile guy was there right now and your toilet designer was there, what colors and materials would this stuff be?
I'd probably do simple white, to be honest.
Simple white.
But it would be, wait a second. What if we like mosaic the toilet?
Yeah, rad.
Just did the whole thing as like one giant mosaic.
Mm-hmm. A mosaic toilet. What colors is this mosaic?
Almost like kind of like a Van Gogh Starry Night. Like not that, but like kind of that like elements, like a wave.
Yeah.
Maybe like a wave. That'd be kind of cool.
You got your poop closet with a wave in it.
Yeah, okay.
Poop closet with a wave in it.
We could put a mosaic like of a starfish in the center, and that kind of be the part you always aim at.
Well, won't you feel like you're kind of being mean to the starfish, though? You're like taking a leak. You're like,
fuck that starfish.
Over time,
you could cut its leg off. It could grow one back. I don't feel sorry for that thing.
Oh, dude. This man has no empathy for starfish or any animal that can grow back limbs.
Do you know that?
You hear what I'm talking about, worms?
Toilets aren't all the same. I found that out.
What do you mean?
Well, my sister used to live in Kyrgyzstan, which is a kind of country in Central Asia, for one of the former Soviet Union republics before.
Yeah, dude. I've seen Borat.
Yeah. So it's like right next to Kazakhstan.
Yeah.
And so
another Stan, eh?
There's so many Stans. Uzbekistan, Tajikistan.
There's my friend Stan. He owns a vapor store.
Well, this Stan had toilets where when you pooped, it like would go on a shelf. kind of, and then when you pull the string, first of all, they mostly had holes in the ground because I went to visit her and they had in high school.
Yeah.
And there was like usually holes in the ground that you'd squat over and you see guys reading the newspaper.
As they're squatting.
They'd finish off, tear it, and then they use that.
The paper. Oh.
Yeah. That they just finished reading.
At least you know everyone's getting
And it's all open. Like it was weird. Like there were no doors. There were just holes and you would all just kind of on
you
the road.
shit and look at each other?
Yeah. It was like in a circle.
That's the exact opposite of those wonderful poop closets we were just talking about.
Yeah, and let me tell you, as a white guy, and most people, this is the first time they ever seen like an American visiting this part of the country.
They're just watching you shit?
They're just like, well, look at this guy, and like because I'm the entertainment. Where
Yeah.
I'm like shitting for the first time in a hole. And I'm just like 16. This is my first time out of the country.
Yeah.
I didn't go to Canada. Or
And
like,
you're 16. You're not used to
Paris.
like just like it's not like when you're an adult. You're like I've been to the gym. You walk around naked with other dudes.
Yeah.
You're just 16. You're like doing probably one of the most embarrassing things for people to see you do. Take a poop.
Yeah, I'm like borrowing fucking newspaper from the guy next to me. It's not like they have rolls there. Like, you got to kind of bring your own.
Oh god.
So they like, but the few toilets that I went in, there was like a shelf, and you'd go, and it would just be sitting there, like looking up at you, and then you pull the like the water thing, and the water would come in and like flush it away, like a dam that broke, and I just was like, there are better ways to do this.
It seems like you guys are going through a lot of effort keeping the poop on the shelf.
Yeah, it's just, why is this so square? Like, why they haven't like mastered the curves yet?
Yeah.
It was just like this like Soviet brutalist square kind of toilet.
Yeah.
You know,
It was like adapted from something else. Like it's part of a tank.
like a 1980s like style toilet.
Yeah.
You know, we were just like, it's the hard lines, and it was weird.
I would rather just poop in a hole in the ground. Once it gets too complicated, I'm like, I have a guilt trip for my poops. So now that we've talked about poops and we talked about bathing,
We hit the kitchen. We hit the bathroom.
living room, any other kind of room we should check out before we go to your master bedroom?
Living room and you know, would be kind of like a normal living room. Big giant fireplace. I've always been a fan of those like little reading areas by a window. You know,
like a nook where you can sit by the window. Oh,
like a nook that pushes out.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So you kind of feel like you're, but like the problem with a lot of times people put nooks is it's either hardwood and like you need cushions, or it's like one cushion. Like I want it to actually be comfortable, so there'd be like a custom kind of cushion area, you know, with like built-in, like almost like a weird little mini couch. You know?
Yeah. Like a lazy boy parallel with the window kind of thing. Like where you're just like you can lean with the window on one of your sides.
Yeah, like so you're kind of lean and enjoy it there, and always have a place for like a little coffee. You know, you always have a place so people can sit down and kind of nuzzle in.
Yeah,
and then that's where I could like do a lot of my reading. And
what would you read there? Like if we were just coming in today to do this tour, what would we read?
Probably, I mean, I'm totally like a self-help dude. I love that shit. But I've been forcing myself to read a lot more fiction.
Non-help. Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I love self-help, but I've been making myself read a lot of non-help books.
Yeah, but outside help. No, I've been doing like a lot of more fiction books, and of course I immediately like fall in love and love it and totally get sucked in. So probably a lot of sci-fi stuff.
Oh yeah,
it's been my latest kick.
What's a good sci-fi? Is there any good sci-fi stuff right now? I was looking on Netflix. I tried to watch like the what is it, the Lost in Space, and I couldn't get into it.
I don't know. I mean, I'm not like I'm not like an expert, but I know I just read this book called Red Rising by Pierce Brown that was like fucking bonkers.
Red Rising,
awesome. It's great. It's about this miner on Mars, and he kind of just discovers that his world isn't what it seems, and he, you know, takes steps to correct that situation. I don't want to give anything away, but it's like
that's a good intro.
It was like it was like reading a book where you're like, God damn it, this thing just moves. Like there was just no filler, man. It's all like paid. I actually listened to the audiobook, and it was just like, it was so great. I just enjoyed my commute so much for like 3 weeks.
I love that about audiobooks where you're like, I'm excited to get in the car. Oh, there's traffic. Yay. Get through a full 2 chapters.
Get through a couple more chapters. No, but living room would be like kind of chill and very nice, very welcoming.
Color wise, is it still going to be like light woods and stuff like that?
Light woods, but the furniture is going to have lots of color.
Okay.
Lots of pops
funky,
of color.
Yeah.
A lot of lights, a lot of greenery, a lot of plants.
Yes.
So I love when a house is full of plants and
Same.
full of life. There'd be a couple like signature art pieces that would also be full of color, just nice and big.
Point one out to us and describe it. This is for our stoned listeners. Whoa.
I probably, you know, I'm not I want to say I probably would have Jesus Christ, I don't know. I was thinking like a Rothko-esque kind of something with like kind of a color splash, but I kind of find those to be kind of boring sometimes.
Just describe one to us. It doesn't have to be perfect. Ron.
Okay, yeah, just it's going to be like like strong lines of color, like a Liechtenstein.
A Liechtenstein,
or has like kind of the black and white strong lines,
very art, like advertising art, like hard silk
kind
screen,
of that pop art that's very grid like and has strong colors, like a strong navy blue, a dark like a red, a bright little yellow, and that'll be. I've always been a big fan of line art, of geometric kind of line art, more Arabic, where it doesn't really depict anything from our world. It's just kind of simple lines.
Yeah.
And I don't know why that vector based art is always kind of cool. It's very calming.
Oh, very cool. Is it framed or is it just on a canvas by itself?
Oh, just a canvas. Fuck frames.
How big is it?
Fuck big frame.
Fuck frames. Are you
Yeah,
gonna throw that at your
frames
strainer?
for life. I think frames are just a fucking.
You throw pasta, Brussels sprouts, and you throw frames and stuff.
I'll tell you one
frames.
Tell you one thing. My fantasy house, big strainer and big frame don't have any place there. Okay?
That's right.
It would be just on canvas, and it would be a pretty big piece. It'd be square. I think square pieces are always kind of cool, like a good, like 4 feet by 4 feet.
Oh yeah, that's so much. It's so powerful when you see them in person. Too.
Yeah.
When you see a big painting, you're like, it's
like I am a painting.
Really,
Yeah.
really. I have a painting at my house that says "Hello, I'm a painting." I love.
Oh my God.
I love the painting just being like, "I'm here, I'm a painting."
That's great.
Love me.
I was thinking though. I want to take you to my office.
Please, let's go. All right,
so
so what you said that was somewhat seductive, Ron.
So the office isn't in the house.
Okay.
Office is in the backyard. And it's like a separate office. I'm a big fan of like separating your work life from your home life.
I agree.
I've always
It's a sign
dreamed
of good health.
Yeah, it's always just dreamed of having that space you could go to. People have their little backyard offices.
Yep.
But mine would be like an old structure, and so it's repurposed. So it used to be like some weird little power station, or like it was like, this is the where we had kept the well, and so it would all be all stone, and then I would repurpose that to be my office. So it'd be very cool inside because it was made of stone,
Yeah.
and it'd been there for like a couple hundred years, and it has that. I'm a big fan of rehabilitating, like when people like repurpose an old building.
So
like,
cool.
Just I like history, and I like that like. When we don't tear something down, we can reuse it. I find that to be like really exciting, and so
it's got a story. It's got like a history and some character.
And
this loft used to be where they would murder convicts, and you're like, whoa, yeah,
really?
Can I use the bathroom?
Cool,
yeah.
So I'd have my little writing nook out there. It would also have a bathroom.
Yeah,
no shower slide. That's too much. That's
you can't have 2 shower slides.
Yeah,
come on.
And then that would be like kind of my little writing area that I would go to during the day, and it'd be like a lot of nice windows, same kind of visual feel as from, but more books and more textiles around the room, a lot of plants, so a little bit more of like kind of tchotchke and coziness feel. I like kind of be surrounded by like stuff when I'm writing.
Is it because you actually do you take a break every 15 or 20 minutes and then you touch the stuff? You're like, I'm going to build I love like the idea of Legos sitting around. Like, I'm going to build a little thing.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Something like kind of like I guess some people call it like distracting, but like, I don't know. We'll see. I mean, hey, if I'm not getting stuff done, I could get all this stuff out of there and make it more clean.
That's right.
That's the thing.
You have a fantasy garage sale. It's another podcast we're doing.
Oh, wow. Damn.
What would you sell at your fantasy garage sale?
Probably this like fantasy silverware set that I got as a gift.
I've got this old interdimensional portal thing. No one's using it ananymore.
Yeah, and it's like and it kind of breaks, to be honest. So like, I feel bad about selling it because I feel like people might get lost in a portal, but I also don't want it. So.
$5.
Yeah. I don't want to throw it away.
Do you have a garage or anything like that?
Do have a garage for a car, and the driveway is one of those driveways where, it's in the forest, so it's not really going to work. But I love when you see driveways where like there's grass in between like the concrete slabs.
Oh yeah. So it just has the slabs for their tires, but the middle is grass.
Yeah, or like they're even like kind of like a crazy geometric pattern where it's all like kind of weirdly tiled. And I would have but the thing is I don't need the car that much because of my transportation system underneath the house.
What's that? Oh my gosh, you're really leading us into something good.
Have you remember gummy bears?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you remember how they got around in gummy bears with those wooden log slide systems? And they would jump in and they'd pull the crank and they would shoot down the slide.
Dude, I don't remember it, but I'm so excited now.
It was like a wooden water slide, kind of, but they're like in a cart.
And you're cavernous under the ground getting places?
So, because I want to be far enough from a city where I feel like kind of I'm out on my own in my own little homestead, but I also want to be close enough so I could like conceivably bike to it, or like so I would be able to bike to it. And the way, again, it's kind of a portal thing, but it's always downhill both ways, always downhill.
Yep.
And then maybe there's like one little hill in the middle just so I feel something, but pretty much all downhill. And then, or we could take our little personal kind of like public transit, I guess private transit in this case, and then you could shoot that down right into the middle of town. I could get out there and I could go to a coffee shop, go see a movie, do the shopping, take the kids to the park, something like that.
It's all personal though. You don't have to worry about sharing it. There's no crazy drunk guy coming on it.
But I give people rides all the time because they think it's the coolest shit ever.
Yeah.
That's how, when you're coming over for a dinner party, like I send one of those, and people are like, God, Ron's house is so cool. I'd be like, yeah, it's really great because I love hosting.
Yeah,
it's like my favorite thing.
It's such a fun it's again like back to the primal. It's such a fun primal thing to host and have loved ones around and be like, you're here with me and I got it all covered and you're gonna have a great time.
Yeah, just like enjoy yourself, be comfortable.
So where do we go next? So you have an insane transportation system underground.
I have water slides in the bathroom.
Water slides that cleans you.
But it's still like it's not. I don't want a place where like. The worst thing in my life would be if I lived in a place like it was like in a Wallace and Gromit short when he wakes up like a robot dresses him.
Yeah.
And I would hate that. Like I would hate to have everything done for me.
Totally. I get that since the second we started talking, like that you enjoy doing things for yourself. You enjoy the satisfaction of the little things.
I enjoy challenge. I enjoy work because I feel like you feel productive. So like
I would stronger and happier. And
I would have to chop down my own firewood for the fireplace.
Yes.
And so there'd be a tree outside. Again, this is another portal thing, but this is like so I would chop down the tree.
Yeah.
And then the firewood would like dry in 1 hour and I'd be able to use it. But then the next day the tree would have grown back to its original size.
So you have ever sharp blades and you also have an ever growing tree that just keeps going.
Well, it's a tree and fast forward. So it's kind of in its own little time portal. Yeah, but that would be my workout. Is I would always so people are like, how do you stay so fit? And I would be like, I chop trees, like because how badass would it be? Like, oh, you have a Bowflex, I have an axe, and then I would cut it down, and then I could bring it in and use that to warm my family.
Yeah, You'd be the alpha dad that chops his own wood. You heat your own house.
Yeah, it'd be I want the house to be connected to the grid, but I also want it to be able to like. Be totally self-sufficient on its own. So like if something were to happen to the outside world, like my lights would still go on. We could still live our life.
Dude, I love that. Even if nothing does happen to the outside world, there's something to be said about like, well, why do I need to be a drag on anything else?
Yeah.
Why can't I just be off the grid? Like do your own thing.
I talk about this all the time, but I don't understand like why that whole part of like solar is been like a political thing. Cause I always thought like the idea of like being on your own house to me is like, one of the like Republican ideals that like I always was like, man, that's fucking awesome. Like, just like, like never have to worry about anybody. Like, you take care of your own shit. Like that to me sounded. So I was always surprised that has never been like a universally.
I think it just got politicized.
Yeah,
and with identity politics, people go. I was just listening to this on a Sam Harris episode. He interviewed someone talking about this. There's a psychological thing that happens to us as humans, and we're at this point where like the styles of populism, I guess. So when one side likes something, even if it's totally matches up with your other ideals, because the other side likes it, there's a primal like association with like, oh, it must be wrong. So like if you want like Hitler tied his shoes, and you go like, well, tying your shoes is bad. Then you're like, is it bad to tie your shoes because Hitler tied his shoes? Like, yeah, because Hitler did it. There's like that on all the different kinds of, which is why it's good to try to rise above group thought.
Didn't Hitler date his cousin? It's kind of like bullshit.
Is that even wrong?
Yeah,
I mean, so now I can't date my cousin?
She's kind of cool.
Yeah.
I definitely don't think
that was a really weird analogy for us to make to our listeners. You're like, use floss.
Also, check out your cousin.
Dude, give your cousin a chance. All we are saying.
So I think,
you have to have a master bedroom. You can't skip out without taking me to your master bedroom, Ron, and then you can tell everyone where they can find you.
I didn't even think about the master bedroom. I thought about all the common spaces in like the office, and I didn't even think. You
didn't think about a master bedroom?
Okay.
You and your wife are going to have a master bedroom. Master of bedrooms is the place where you relax.
I mean, to me, a bedroom is like, should be the simplest place where you just have, it's all about the bed.
It's all about the bed.
I mean, they call it the
there's a place
room.
called All About the Bread, right?
Oh, yeah.
Great sandwiches?
Yeah.
This place has great mattresses.
All about that bread.
Same owner?
No gluten.
He's like, I also own a mattress store. It's called All About the
Bed. It would just be a really nice bed. I don't want a king size bed though. Well, I don't know. Maybe as we get older, we'd want one. But like, I don't like having a bed. I like to be next to my partner.
Really? So you like a smaller bed?
Well, I'm not talking twin, but I'm talking queen. Like we have a queen now, but she's like, I totally want a king.
I need a king. I have to be able to stretch out.
I
co-sleep with my kids, so I'm like, you guys.
You know what? Fuck it. We'll get a king. Our relationship is strong enough where we don't need to like sleep right next to one another.
You can. No, this is your fantasy house. You can have a queen size bed in the corner for those nights.
Ooh, maybe the bed can be like adjustable. Or like, hey, maybe it could be one of those things like, hey, babe, is it a queen night? Or is it a twin night? You know what I'm saying? And then you like, you hit the button.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden it goes to a twin and you're like, because that's our fuck bed.
Does music play when it goes to twin?
Oh, yeah. Oh, I forgot to tell you about the favorite thing about the house.
Okay, let's leave this master bedroom and go to your favorite thing. Here we go.
Well, it's all throughout the house.
Okay.
There's music that plays that matches your mood.
Nice.
So if you're just kind of having a feeling, you're having a great day, there's music that will automatically come on to match your mood. How cool would that be?
I love that.
Like it's like a movie sound. Like it's literally a movie soundtrack for your life.
I love
just
that.
in the background. And it could just kind of be like, yeah, I am kind of sad right now. And there's like kind of sad music playing as you wistfully look out.
What would play? Give me an example. Let's paint this picture for our listeners.
Oh, man. I mean, it's slightly drizzling. You're looking out the window. You're happy where your life ended up, but there's still have regrets. There's still the times where you wish you said yes, you know?
What song is that? Give me that song.
Nico. Anything by Nico?
Anything by Nico? Okay.
Like Needle in the Head.
Oh, yeah. That's a heavy one. That is a heavy one.
These Days.
These
Days. Like, I'm a terrible singer. But Nico These Days is like
this is a comedy podcast,
song.
Ron. You're allowed to be a terrible singer. I didn't have you on saying, this guy is going to blow you away with singing. Okay, let's say you're having a great day. Or you want to be uplifted for a great day.
Hey, now, you're an all-star. Get the game on. Go, hey.
If I'm a guest there and you're like, hey, make yourself at home, and I'm walking down your hallway and that's playing, I'm going to be like, shut the fuck up, house radio. Bicycle, I want to ride my
But I would love to have like a nice, like in the whole house. Can you imagine like nice slick hardwood floors? You're wearing socks. You could slide around
I love
everywhere
that.
like you're a kid.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, encourage your guests to do the same.
Especially if I'm listening to Bob Seger, old time rock and roll.
Oh, yeah. I don't really know a lot about
Yeah, I love that's my favorite.
Night moves.
That's a whole nother. That's for when you go, babe.
Yeah.
Twin bed. And it goes, talking about the night moves.
And then she just like flips the California King, and you're like, okay, all right, good night. I love you too,
babe. I want to do a reverse cowgirl while listening to Hollywood Nights. You down?
Yeah, then it switches so the bed just turns into a bunch of gymnast bars, and it's like we're getting into some weird shit tonight.
Oh yeah, dude. Turn the page. Oh, that was a Metallica version. Dude, that was just a hilarious house. I freaking love it.
I gotta think like I guess the basement would be like kids stuff, like kind of romper room, kind of kids like. And you know what? I would be like, listen, you tell me what you want. You know, like, because like you want a room made out of trampolines. Let's do that. Like, give them some creative feel. Like, no, this is going to be your space. So what do you want? And then we'll do that.
I love that in your fantasy house, you're like, I'm gonna have to get some info from my kids before we design that room.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to be the one who tells them like this is the fantasy of how you should be a child. Be like, go crazy, man.
That's great.
I mean, maybe we'll have we'll have the one parent room, so it's like not just like a room with like dinosaurs or some shit.
You're talking about in the basement?
Yeah, and then like, but like, you want to have a house that like, I would want to like teach kids how to cook. I think a lot of parents are afraid of that. I think it's cool to teach kids like how to cook. So I would want to have like a little station for them that's more kid size, where they could like, maybe give them like little dull knives. They could help me chop garlic or something like that.
I think that's freaking great though. The teaching, that's such a great skill. Yeah. I didn't learn how to cook till I was way older. My mom still doesn't know how to cook. My dad knows how to cook, but like no one taught me. And I always thought like, leave that to the pros, or like somebody else does that. So I think that's great.
I would have like a big hosting area, like off the kitchen would just be like kind of a giant table, like a rough hewn.
Yeah.
Just a giant wooden table that would just be really opening and welcome. And I envision the idea of like always having people over and having fun and kids playing. So it's like it's weird. It's like a quiet house when it's just us, but also it's like a house that is, if you thought of it, you would think of like laughter and boisterousness and people having fun and like lots of good wine and club soda on tap.
Club soda on tap. Leave it at that, folks. Get this house, people. I love it, dude. Thank you so much for taking me there.
Is that a bonkers house compared to ones that you've done already?
I love it.
Is that like a pretty like Where does this fantasy?
It's. I mean, this is the beauty of this show.
Despite the water slides and like the private gummy bears transportation network system, it could be achievable.
Oh, it's totally. And this is the thing. It's an experiment in psychology in adults getting to get creative, like as if you're a kid. That's what I love about this. And so everyone has their different stuff. And yeah, dude, I've had houses that are like completely impossible, and then other houses that you're like, hey, we could do this. You take this stuff out of this, though. You abstract the stuff that is doable, and you put that into your life, even if it's just in your apartment right now or it's in a house in the future. There's stuff in there, and now you go ahead, listen to this episode, and you'll know, like, oh yeah, I like that. If you ever forget,
it's honestly like my dream is to build my own house with my own two hands.
So rad,
which I don't know how to do.
It's so rad. Well, I hope that this was some. I think you might not know how to do it. I'm doing the air quotes, but I think you do know how to do it, and I think you know how to learn how to do it.
I'll tell you what, man.
I hope this gets you that much closer to doing it.
I'm gonna drop some plans, send it over, and we're gonna get a builder, and we're gonna make this shit happen.
Dude, it'd be so rad.
Okay?
Seriously, I hope that you someday do something with some of this.
I'm so glad that the podcast is going to pay for it. That really means a lot.
Just putting. I mean,
I know you didn't say that, but I know like you would say that.
You can tell,
and I think that's really cool that you would think about saying that.
This podcast is going to pay for your fantasy house. That's you heard it here, folks. I got to get around a
looking
house.
around. I wouldn't expect that you would have the budget for something like that, but that's like really cool that you're still going to do it.
You've talked me into it. I'm into it. But guess what? I'm living there with you guys.
Oh no!
There's just one catch. It's going to be a great kids movie right now.
But dude, thank you for having me, man.
Thanks for doing this. Where can people look you up? Where do you want them to find you?
You can find me on Instagram at HeyRon, or go to my website, heyron.com. I'm on the Twitter at Ron Babcock, and I have an album. You could listen to it called This Guy, and you can buy it, or you can just listen to it on Spotify, man. I understand. People you got a budget.
Well, if you guys listen to it and then you go, I want to buy it now. Like I heard it and I want to support Ron, do that. And a lot of people listen to us, Fantasy House, on Spotify. So you listen to us, then go search for Ron right now.
That would mean a lot. If you guys listen, that would mean so much.
Is it on iTunes also?
Yeah, of course it's on iTunes.
So it's on Apple Music or iTunes or whatever they're calling it this month. And it's on Spotify. This is going to be on YouTube. So, it's everywhere.
It's pretty much just me talking about my fantasy house. I feel like I go over a lot of the same material.
Album.
Yeah, it's a weird album.
Oh, dude. The Weird Album Yankovic. Yeah. All right. You guys, thank you so much. I feel like #blessed guest. It's been an awesome time, awesome journey. And give us a 5-star review. Hit me up if you have any real estate questions. fantasyhousepodcast@gmail.com. Go visit Ron. Go see him live. Go check out heyron.com. All right, guys. Mwah.